shake your dreams from your hair. I'm already there, right beside you. So please, don't hide, just say I'll be there if it breaks, right beside you. Suddenly I know now how it feels. I no longer have to beg or steal. I can stand now on this higher ground, where love is just a sound. Where love is...
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee and Cresties. You rocking a mug today, or are you rocking your Timmies?
Same as usual.
Timmies. How many roll up the rims have you had so far?
A lot. And I haven't won. I think I've won like 3 times.
No.
Yeah.
At least free coffees, right? Like
Donuts. So not even
Okay.
coffee. I don't really like donuts.
I just keep getting points and like coffee, and then G kind of burst my bubble and said you get points every time that you roll it up anyways. So I'm like, okay, so then I got 1 free coffee out of all the roll-ups. That's great.
Yay.
And then I have my old Valentine's Day mug. What's up, Nomi? So G got into this like little kick of getting me these little pig themed stuff.
Right.
So they came with like little stuffed animals that would talk to you. So this one said, "What's up, Nomi?" And the other one said, I think, "Don't go bacon my heart."
Oh my God.
We've got a bunch of people in this morning. Everyone's in here bright and early. Let's see who we got. We got Paul. Oh, Paul's first. He was in there early this morning. You were waiting for us, eh? It's 7:47. And then we got Theresa. Teresa's going to be on later on with Chris. That'll be fun.
Nice.
Good morning. We got Rouge River Geckos. Good morning. And then got G. He's out getting coffee this morning.
Well, at least he tunes in on his phone while he's driving.
Yeah, well, that's true. Touche. Hey, we got Leviathan in today. Hey, guys. Good morning. You're over here to watch the gecko content. We're going to bring you over to the dark side, and you're going to hop onto some Cresties just like April did.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like a traitor to the ball python community.
Cresties. And then we got Chris, who hopped on too. I'm excited. We had so much fun. So we did a pre-recording because Chris works bright and early in the mornings. So we were able to schedule it in and do a pre-recording for our espresso today.
Yeah, that was fun.
Oh, and EW Exotics as well. She's going to be on this week. Good morning. So anything new this week? How's your week been?
It's been pretty good.
Yeah.
Nothing too exciting though. I went in on an export with April like you did, I think. I think you did. Yeah.
Getting some
import,
new stuff,
I guess, not export.
Yeah, getting some new stuff from Europe.
Yeah. But that's all really.
Well, she got us pretty pumped, our last episode, showing us all the fancy stuff that they have over there. It was like, ooh.
And we're like backstage, like going through it all. I'm like, oh no.
How about this one? How about this one? I'm like, how can I just pick one? And then I was so excited because I chose one. And then unfortunately they got back to us and said it was sold. So I was like, oh, it took so long to like pick the one that I wanted. And I have to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah. And it was super complicated too, because they had the pictures on the website with the numbers. And then we had like the number list and we had to like go back and forth to like the prices. And then you have to go to Canadian prices and convert that.
Yeah.
How much is this going to cost me?
Converted, and then with import fee, and then
yeah.
No, but it's going to be it's exciting. Like we get them in April when we go to the expo, so that's going to be, and we'll get to share it with all of you. We're going to be there live. So we won't have the podcast that Sunday because we'll be driving to Toronto, but we'll tune in on Insta Live and show you guys around and see how things are going at the expo. But yeah, and I'm super excited. I'm picking up way too many geckos that day.
I'm not. So I'm not picking up that many. Not that many, but I am picking up a few.
Yeah. Well, you say not many now until you get there and you go shopping. Because
my
I
God.
guarantee you're coming back with more than what you think you're coming back with.
Oh my God.
It's bound to happen.
I'll just leave my bank card at home. I'll just leave the whole bank. I'll leave the whole bank account at home. Like, I can't do much if it's 4 hours away.
You think that. There's always a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. And you asked me, you said, how much money should I bring?
I know. I know.
It depends on what you want to spend.
Yeah. It'll be fine.
Yeah. I need to you'll have to let me know the next time you go to Critter Jungle. Because you've been there quite often lately. You were there again this week, eh?
Yeah. Yes. I went for moss and I came back with live plants. I don't know how this happened, but
anything fancy or just like
Back
for
with live
terrarium
plants.
stuff?
Just for the terrarium.
Okay.
And I don't even think I'm going to put them in the terrarium now. I think I'm just going to grow them.
No.
Well, I'm like, I don't.
Weren't you looking at it's for the frog, right? Did you get a Pac-Man frog? Is that what you got?
Yeah, I ordered a Pac-Man frog.
Okay, so I had done up his terrarium so pretty, and there was live plants and everything in there. All he does is go around and dig holes and bury himself in the dirt.
That's what I figured.
Rips the plants up, and
Yeah, that's what I figured what would happen. So I just kind of made it like a basic terrarium with dirt and a place to soak and some heat and some places to hide. And I gave him some dwarf whites and some springtails, but I don't think I'm going to add much more than that.
Yeah, no, that's a good setup. It's similar to what I have in mine. Theresa says you'll regret it if you leave your money. Bring it April and buy them geckos.
Live your best life, right? You only live once.
Pretty much. You only live once, you might as well live it.
May as well. Crystal would just borrow from me. Oh my goodness. So can I borrow from you then?
They'd be like, I'll send you, I don't have my bank card, but I have access to it on my phone. That's the other thing. You don't have your bank card, but you have your phone. And a lot of them have the Square app, so you can just scan your phone.
Shit.
We're in this new age now where it doesn't matter if you leave it at home. Like, you have access to it. You have the ability to transfer funds. People accept e-transfers. Like, there's so many ways around it.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll just set a limit and then delete my apps off my phone and leave my bank card at home, and I'll just go with cash and we'll call it a day, because I'm very impulsive when I'm in a good mood, and I know I'm going to be in a really good mood, so that means I'm going to be really impulsive.
We'll have to go in there with the system of keeping each other in check. Okay, what's your plan? What are your projects? What are you allowed to buy? And what should I say no?
Right.
Don't get it. It's not a good investment.
Exactly. I need a mommy to follow me around.
Fancy Mike, good investment. Random gecko I might not need in a project, bad investment. And you got the Fancy Mike too this week.
I do. I love it. It's so cute. It's like a mood changer. It's so neat. It just changes all these colors.
Changes colors. It's so pretty.
And I got mine cheaper than you got yours because mine was on sale.
Yeah, I know. You got a really good deal. Northland Exotics is in the house. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, what's G saying? Yeah, this is a setup for failure. Oh, because I'm holding her accountable? Yeah. Well, it's probably G should be holding us both accountable. He's going to be our advisor when we're there, because if we do it with each other, we'll be like, yeah, buy the gecko. It's great. What? It's so pretty.
I feed off of you.
Not a good thing.
I feed off of you. We feed each other. We're like, go ahead, do it. Buy all the geckos.
Well, here I am. I'm like, oh, next time you go to Critter Jungle, bring me. I need more stuff for enclosures, because we've got a lot of enclosures I have to set up in the next couple weeks.
Right. I'm really bad for that. I just go down for like one specific thing and I come back with more than what I need. And it's kind of like the things you didn't know you needed until you've seen them and you were like, "Oh yeah, I really need that." But really you don't need that. But it's really beneficial to have it.
Like justifying it to yourself. Well, I could use
Yeah.
it for this and I could use it, and if it doesn't work out in this case, I can use it here.
Right? Like the plants. Best investment ever. I thought I would kill them, but I've proven to myself that I haven't killed them yet. They're actually growing.
No, you don't show a picture of your floor. He's talking to me because my place what is he talking about?
Yeah, what are
Because
you
I had
talking
him
about?
I don't know. I think it's because you got stuff. Oh, I see what he's saying. Okay. It's because in the
Oh, all the
corner
stuff on the
here,
floor.
he's talking about the corner here where I have all this like cork bark that I do have that I just need to break apart because it's like these massive pieces
But
of
you
cork
need
bark.
more.
But I need more because I'm like, well, what if I need this for a really large enclosure? I don't want to break this beautiful piece of cork
Right?
bark when I could use it for something huge, right? I don't know. That's the
Logic.
logic I'm going with.
It's girl logic. It's reptile girl logic. It just makes
Yeah.
sense.
I'm like
I get
looking,
it.
I'm like, I'll never find another beautiful piece of cork bark like this again.
I get
That's
it.
the thinking I'm going,
I get it. Because I've seen
you
some
know?
ugly cork bark.
Well, you got some tiny little ones that one time you ordered them from Amazon.
I was so mad. I was like, really? Like, really? I paid $10 per like little piece? What is this? Hold on a second. My kid is knocking on the door.
The joys of parenthood. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to having little gremlins come and visit you.
Oh my goodness. They're supposed to be with their father this weekend, but they're sick. And there's some illness, or not illness, I guess some health issues over at his house right now, so they can't
Yeah,
like do the meshy with the bugs and the viruses. So
true. Teresa's saying girl logic's so true.
oh, it makes so much sense. Like, yeah, I bought bugs. Oh, there's some more stuff, some good stuff. I bought some
Unless you
fancy
never
bugs.
use it. LOL girl logic. Well, there's always an opportunity to use it. That's why you don't get the girl logic.
And I
Even though
want to
I
say it's
also
like reptile girl logic because not every girl would like consider, even they just be like,
yeah,
oh, it's
but
not
I mean, like
right.
there are other girls that might have like a whole bunch of different purses or the amount of shoes, like us, it's cork bark. It's not shoes, it's cork bark. Well, me, it's
Yeah.
probably jackets. G could probably attest. I collect jackets for some reason. I
So
have
with
like a
me,
whole bunch of them.
it's cork bark, it's reptile like totes and tubs. I need all the tubs because I
Yeah.
don't know what I'm gonna have my next impulse buy and I need to be prepared, right? So I need all the things just to make sure that I have everything for a new gecko.
Yeah, Northland Exotic says also tried to buy cork bark off Amazon, was awful. It smelt weird.
It smelled
That's
like
what I
fish.
remember.
It
Yeah, it
smelled
was
like fish.
really weird.
It just like came out of the ocean or something, like an aquarium, and they just sent it to me. It smelled like algae. Like
Tiny
gross.
little
Why does
piece.
it
You
smell like
just ended
that?
up chucking it, or did you end up trying to boil it and see what you could do with it?
I threw it out.
Yeah, you're like,
I
I'm
just
not chancing this.
like I'm not doing this. No, because I didn't want to kill the bacteria on it either, like if I boiled it, right? So I just threw it
Yeah.
out.
The tubs. Oh my gosh, the tubs. I have so many extras. Right? And then like you get to a point where like you get a whole bunch of geckos at one point, and then I had like no tubs. And I'm like, okay, I gotta go get more tubs. Now I'm stocked up on tubs again.
I love
But
it.
I still need more.
I had a bunch of tubs until I bought some bugs. So I bought some really fancy, nice bugs. And they're not here yet. But I broke a couple because I was trying to drill the holes into them, like the bigger holes, because
Yeah.
I also got some vents from the cellar. Um,
Okay.
and Ember bees like these vents, and they're really expensive, right? So I don't want any babies crawling out of my
Yeah.
other holes. Anyway, so I'm like trying to drill this. I should mention too that I had to go to Canadian Tire to buy the drill piece, right? Make the hole Okay. So I have the drill. Oh, and then I needed to go and get a charger for the battery because my drill battery broke or like died, and my ex took all of the chargers. So so it was the whole thing.
Okay. When did you get okay, I have to ask you, when did you get the drill piece to make the hole?
5 days ago.
Oh, you see, we need to talk more because I just bought a whole set of drill hole pieces, like
So much same.
on the
I bought,
weekend
yeah, I bought the big thing.
because I had to make I made lay boxes for all my girls, like new ones, and I
Right.
wanted them to be enclosed and have a nice round hole that they can go into.
Right.
So I did holes in the lids. Yeah, G's mentioning it right now. He says Saturday. We went there. I got like a 3-inch one and realized it didn't have the attachment to put it in the drill. So then I went
Right.
back and I got a kit that had the attachment and had other sizes. Came home, realized that the attachment doesn't work with my 3-inch one, but worked with the smaller one.
Oh my
So we
God.
went back and forth to like Canadian Tire a bunch of times. Finally sorted it out, and I was able to get my lay boxes sorted. But
You should have just messaged me because I bought it. I bought the whole kit. I think it was Wednesday. Because I was looking for a 2.5. I needed a 2.5-inch circle thingamajiggy. And do you think that they would have the 2.5s? No. No, I had to buy the whole thing
were
to
you
get
at
a 2.5.
Canadian Tire?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was gonna say probably because I bought it, but no, I bought the 2.5. It was in a kit.
So I had to buy the kit because that was the only place the 2.5 was.
Okay.
But now I have this whole kit and it's so awesome. But I did break some of my tubs trying to drill the big hole in because I was like, I don't know how this works. Right. And I broke like 3 of them.
And she's making a joke saying babies crawling out of other holes.
I don't get it.
We own shares in Rubbermaid. So yeah, when we first started, we don't legit own shares in Rubbermaid, but when we first started with
You
ball
should.
pythons, the amount of Rubbermaid containers that we ended up getting before we got the rack system, right? So we all had shelving and every ball python was in its own container. Now we have all these Rubbermaid containers. And he wanted, like, originally he was like, oh, you guys, you can use them for your geckos. But the problem is that they're all shallow containers, right? They're not
Right.
tall. And then even if I were going to use them for the little ones, the holes on the sides are so big that I couldn't even use them for smaller geckos because they would
Right.
squeeze their way through one of the air holes.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I think we can pop into our first segment. I'm just going
Let's
to
do
bring it
it.
up.
I'm not
Yeah.
watching this though because it's been pre-recorded. And so I'm just gonna I can't watch myself.
All right, just pop this down. Still getting used to this. It's tea time.
I thought it was the espresso one, but it wasn't.
No, we're not there yet.
I thought we were.
So not much tea coming up, but there's this funny post. I mean, it's funny, but it's also kind of sad. But this kind of came up on my feed this week, and they talked about it on the Gecko Pod, and it was this super cap where they were basically saying the likeness of Sloth from the Goonies. So and then I kind of did a little bit more deep dive because I saw the other posts with more pictures of this super cap. So I guess when they purchased the super cap, it looked fairly normal. Like they didn't really have much of an issue with it aside from the fact that they have the small nostrils. And as it started to grow, it started getting these weird deformities with its face and its eyes kind of slanted, and because its nostrils are so tiny, it has to breathe with its mouth open. So Who's Geckos posted this meme, and then it kind of blew up, and a bunch of people were sharing it, and it was being shared on stories, and it kind of took over my whole story feed on Instagram for a day or two. But I thought it was a good opportunity to bring it up. And April, you want to lead the way into our genetic discussion?
Uh-oh. Are you
Uh-oh.
back?
Oh,
Uh-oh.
did I freeze?
You did.
Oh no, where did I freeze?
April, do you want to lead?
Oh, do you want to lead oh, is that why? Oh, you're making fun of it, saying, oh, you froze. I didn't hear what you said. I thought it'd be a good opportunity to talk about, ethics in
Well,
breeding.
the ethics around it is you find that the animal is not going to live the best quality of life. Maybe you should stop breeding said animal
Yeah.
and said combinations. Um, it's kind of like, it makes me think of ball pythons because we don't breed spider and spider because it's lethal.
Yeah.
And then there's a majority of other combinations that are lethal, or they're just not able to, live their best life because the wobbles are too bad. I think it's super spot nose is another one
Yeah,
that like just
champagne does it too. There's a weird one with champagne and
yeah. Yeah, so it's just kind of known among the community not to produce those animals, and we don't support people that do produce those animals.
yeah.
And I think it's important to notice now that with the super caps that you should reevaluate your projects.
Yeah, and I think it's a learning curve, right? Like people didn't really know when it first started, right? And now we're seeing a lot more of these animals, they're getting to adulthood and you're kind of seeing more of these defects coming out as they age and as, but you still hear stories like they were mentioning actually on the Gecko Pod this week that there's stories out where like overseas where you'll have breeders that are still breeding for super caps and apparently using like needles and stuff to make the nostrils bigger so that they
What?
can breathe, but then you're getting scar tissue and stuff from when it heals, right? And I'm like, that's just completely unethical when you're hearing stories like that. I was kind of taken aback when I heard that.
If it's getting to the point where you actually have to mutilate an animal to make it look like they're normal, it's a
Yeah,
problem.
it's a huge problem.
Like
And now
you'd
they're
almost be
yeah,
better at that point just to cull the animal, right? Like if it's not up to standard, if it's not healthy, if it's not thriving, cull
yeah,
the animal, euthanize the animal instead of putting it through the pain of, stretching out the nose or doing whatever it is that they do that's cosmetic.
yeah. And I think maybe that's it's sad and it's kind of a harsh reality, but maybe that's a bigger discussion that has to be had within like the gecko breeding community because you'll see within ball pythons it does happen where you'll have clutches where the snakes will be born for whatever reason, whether it's an incubation issue or a genetics issue, where the snake will be born with really bad kinks.
Yeah.
And like it's just not viable. They're still alive, and the snake is not going to be able to eat or be able to live a good quality of life because of
Right.
how severe the kinks are. And it's just kind of common acceptance within the community of breeders within ball pythons that that's an animal where you would decide that you would call the animal.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm finding with the discussions with the geckos, there's a lot more hesitation when that comes around, especially now with the super cap conversation, right? Because you'll have a situation where you might not know that the gecko that you're breeding to your cappuccino is cap. There's still
Right.
people where they're proving out their caps. Initially, they were proving it out by making super caps. But then now they're proving it out with lily whites, right? But you might have a situation where you might do a pairing and then by surprise you realize, "Oh, wait, that was a cappuccino and I had no idea." And now you're
Yeah.
producing super caps. Now, is it ethical to allow the super caps to grow and continue, or is it a bigger decision where at this point you know that the outcome of the quality of life for that for that gecko is going to be low?
Right.
Is there a decision where at that point that you have to euthanize the gecko?
I think it'll depend on the person, right? Because you're always gonna have
Yeah,
this certain breeder being like, oh, I can do it. Oh, this one's gonna be normal, right? Like I can do it, I can do
yeah,
it. But if it's been proven, clutch after clutch, animal after animal, that they're not doing well as adults or juveniles, that
mhm,
I think if you a possible cap and a possible cap or whatever, and you start producing super caps, I say you just freeze those eggs as they come out.
mhm,
Just be done with it because you're putting animals at risk of harm and like I want to say neglect too, because what are you gonna do
yeah.
with all of them? Right? Like
Well,
are
and
you
like
just gonna keep all of them?
just last year, there was a Canadian breeder that was selling super caps at like a really expensive price. Like when I mean like it was over 5,000, right, for the super cap. And knowing now, like yeah, it looked somewhat normal at that age, but it was still very small. And knowing now that people are now experiencing where they can have some deformities as they get older, and I'm sure it's all based on lineage, right? And genetics, and it's not like everyone is going to end up being that way. Like I'm sure there's some that have grown normally, but for the most
Right.
part there has been issues with the nostrils and with the eyes. And then you have that bigger conversation as how is the quality of life for that gecko, even if it's not quote unquote deformed. Well, I guess small nostrils would be a deformity anyways, but
Right.
yeah. No, like I've done one pairing here, and I have two that I'm like I'm nervous to put together because, and I won't. I'm going to pair it with a lily first because I'm not sure. It has a look to it, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to take a chance that this thing could be cap, and I don't want, you know
Right.
what I mean? Like I don't want to risk it, so we'll do a lily pairing first to see how it's going to go and what comes out of that, to be a little bit more responsible and kind of delay a pairing I may have wanted to do sooner, right?
Right. Right. I don't work with cappuccino.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any of it actually. And I don't think I'm gonna get any of it. I wanted to get some
There's some
actually.
new stuff. There's some new stuff coming in, but it's because I work with a lot of like the darker stuff too, right? And some of it, like, depending on how, it's hard to tell. And I'm not fully um well versed with cappuccinos and breeding caps, that I don't feel confident enough to make that decision just in case, because there's been so many that have been popping up in people's collections without them knowing that it was, especially now that you see some of the new ones that are coming out with more colorful patterns. Like, they have people with the orange caps and the red caps. So now you're hearing some of them popping up in collections before that they were produced with those kind of color variations. So it's too
Right.
much of a gamble, I find.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you guys think in the chat? Do we have 11 people watching. Is there anyone with comments or opinions on the cap debate?
Damn, 11. That's a good number.
I
Actually, I
think
thought
it's
we were
the
gonna have
highest
like
amount of viewers we've had so far. Yay! They're all here to see Chris and Theresa. Yeah, we're holding it off. Well, if anyone, I think it's a good discussion to have, and people can start engaging in the comments. I think it'd be really good to see what people have to
we
say.
had 12.
Oh, we had
We had
12.
we lost one. The cappuccino talk probably.
Turn somebody off.
Yeah.
I've heard enough cappuccino for the week. No, I think it's a good discussion to have, and I'd be eager to see what some people have to say in the comments. Northland's saying that they think it's wildly unethical, and I completely agree. Especially we've gotten to such a point right now in breeding and proving things out that we know what the outcome is with it. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people are moving away from it, though, and they're proving out with lilies. It's crazy to hear they are doing, yeah, what they're doing over there. I know, I was quite shocked. Go check out the Gecko Pod. They talked about it in their last podcast episode. It was really good discussion. Yeah, no, it's definitely a sensitive topic for a lot of people. All right, is there anything else on tea time you want to bring up, April? I think it was a pretty slow week other than the super cap debate.
Yeah. No, pretty slow.
All right, and then we're going to hop into our next segment. We're going to have Chris and Theresa on from East Valley Exotics, and we had a really good discussion with them, and we're excited to share it with you guys.
Yeah, it was really good.
Hey, we're back. Am I the only one that's dancing in the background? The little
No,
song?
I'm guilty of that.
Little smooth jazz that's going on. It's jazz, right? I'm not 100%.
Yeah, I think so.
So we got Chris and Theresa here from East Valley Exotics, and they're going to show us their fancy geckos and tell us about what you guys do. So what you guys don't just do geckos, right? You have a couple different species you work with.
Yeah. So we primarily do ball pythons. We're kind of getting more into colubrids as well. We're expecting a couple clutches of Mexican black king snakes right now.
Ooh.
We have white-sided rat snakes and white-sided bull snakes.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah, we're kind of doing more with the colubrids, trying to venture out a little bit, which led us to the geckos.
Okay. How did colubrids get you into geckos? I'm
Well, I mean,
curious.
we're trying to have diversity.
Yeah.
You go to the reptile expos anymore, and it's just table after table of ball pythons. I know crested geckos are kind of getting popular as well in that aspect, but we just want to kind of have a little bit of everything, and we're lucky enough to like a little bit of everything, so we're not just focusing on one thing all the time.
And let's face it, they're cute little pocket dragons that bring people over to the table and then make
Yeah,
them less afraid of snakes when you
yeah.
have them there.
Although
Well,
we do
that's
have a
fun.
couple that like to jump like right at you and give you a little mini heart attacks. So
Yeah, I have a few like that too.
yeah,
Well, they don't have any self-preservation either, right? Like you'll hold them and it's like so random and they'll just jump and like right on the ground and like splat.
I remember the first time I heard a gecko splat on the floor. I was like, are you dead? Are you okay? Like I was in your gecko room.
Yeah, you get so much more experience with time though to like catch them. Like I've gotten pretty good at like just randomly knowing now where they're gonna jump and like catch them in midair and
yeah.
save them from jumping on the floor.
She's the gecko wrangler. Like
Have
they,
you gotten any get into the racks yet?
we had one the other day. I went to take pictures. I was fired up. It was the red patternless,
Okay.
and it was fired up. I'm like, oh, I want to get a picture. So I opened up. I went to take it out, and it did the whole sploot on the floor, and then ran and went up behind the snake racks.
Oh
No.
no.
So
And that's
I'm
such a
calling for her to
pain
come
the
help
head.
me, and yeah, those little things get my heart racing.
Yeah. And it's kind of a pain when they get in there because you're like, oh no, the little hide like right in the smallest little like groove of the rack. We had G had some friends come over today with their son so he could see the reptiles and the snakes, and it's I guess the people that he's played dodgeball with in our township. And I had taken Bowser out today, who April knows, and he's like the calmest, sweetest thing. Well, the kid held him and he was so sweet. And all of a sudden, he took the opportunity and he bolted. So he just jumped off of him, ran across the room. And I'm like, oh no, nobody move. Because, like, you don't want to take the wrong step once he's on the
Right.
ground, right? He flew across this room and climbed up my heater and, like, just like was just out of here. I've never seen that gecko move that fast.
Wow. He
He's
saw
just
his
having a day.
opportunity.
Yeah, he saw the opportunity and he took it. He's like, this kid is not going to catch me and I'm gone. I'm out of here.
To be honest, I would rather have a gecko run into one of my racks than grab onto my curtain and take off up to the ceiling because I'm short. I can't. Once they're up there, they're up there. Like one of them jumped away from me, and I had called my 16-year-old because he's a lot taller than I am. I was like, I need your help. I can't reach. I can't reach.
Well, like luckily it's short. It's a shorter ceiling because I'm in the basement. But yeah, like they can get into some really weird places. And I had one had gotten out. So I don't know if you've seen them, but there was this like little craze where people were sending links on Amazon on these like little shoe boxes with the little doors that you can have.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
can put them upwards and they look like these little enclosures, right? Well, I had my very first lily white male in this, and I didn't realize it's magnetic, and I didn't think like that he would be able to pop this thing open. And the next day I come in there to go and check on their food, and the door's open. I'm like, what happened? So I guess he popped it open and then he was loose. And this is when I had them still in G's room with all the snakes. So there's the snake racks. Like I'm like, I don't even know where he's gone. Like, how am I gonna find him? So I was lucky. He was still in my like plastic rack, but he was at the very bottom under the shelf, lodged into like a little crevice on the back of the shelf against the wall.
Oh,
So, and it was like the last place I looked for him too. I took that whole room apart to try to
Of course.
find him. It's always the last place. Like, 45 minutes later, you're like, aha, there you are. But I was like in panic mode because I'm like, I lost the lily white,
Yeah.
the most valuable one I had at the time. I'm like, oh my God, am I gonna find this thing in this room? Or is he, like, did he get out through the door? Is the crack big enough? Like, is he still in this room? Then they can give you little heart attacks for sure.
So we got those similar style shoe boxes, I guess you call
Yeah.
them. But we actually bought tabs. So I screwed them into the top so they fold over. So
Ooh.
you can't pull it open with the magnets, because that's what my first thought is. If they get a running start, because they can be little crackheads.
Jump on
And,
the
if they
door.
come knock that little door down, it's just 2 weak magnets. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we
No,
put
for
the
sure.
tabs on there, and so far nothing has gotten out.
That's a great idea. I
That is
only
a
got
good
the one
idea.
to try it. Do you find they're easy to stack? Like to make a
Yeah,
little wall of them? Yeah.
I have what are they? 3 high, 4 high? Yeah,
3 high.
3 high.
Okay.
And they're actually, when they're single units, they're pretty flimsy. But
Yeah.
as you build onto them, it actually gives it more structure to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
How
kind of, I
big
guess,
of a
like
gecko do you put in them?
What they're like 20 grams. Some of them like
Yeah.
15, 20
Okay.
grams right now are the ones we have. We have one that's a little bit bigger that I'm gonna get her into something bigger. But I mean, they seem to do just fine in it. It holds humidity pretty well.
Yeah.
I can't find the style that everybody else has where the door is sealed. Ours has a
Okay.
gap. So we spent
Mm.
hours hot gluing some like screen around it.
Oh, with
So
the little handle is, eh?
yeah, because I didn't want them
Yeah.
to be able to squeeze through it just in case they could. So
Right.
we sealed that off too. We did a lot of prep work on them
Yeah.
just to make sure, because we do have a cat, we have the dogs and everything like that, and God forbid one of them get
Right.
out.
Yeah. Do you have the ones that are like fully clear, or did you get the ones that are like black? Because the one I got was like a solid black and it was just the front door that was clear.
So they're clear, but they're more like an opaque clear.
Okay.
So they're not like blacked out at all. And
Yeah.
the backside does have vents, but they're not big enough for anything to get through.
Okay. So you guys have vents in yours, and mine didn't. I had to drill holes through the whole thing, and I was like, "How is this gonna work if I start stacking them together?" And I was like, "I don't think this works for me."
Yeah, like there's a couple different models out there that I found, and they even have a size bigger than the one that we got.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
Yeah, so
April's
the
like, "Send
brand
me
we got.
the
Yeah,
I
I'll
need
send a link over.
the
Yeah,
link.
because I was looking. I there if you type it in, you'll get a bunch of different results. But the brand that we got actually has 2 different sizes.
link." Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I'm gonna bring your geckos up on the screen here, and we can talk about your fancy pants. Oh, of course, I had to start it at the end. Did that again. So tell me about this one.
So that one is from, I believe, Robbie's Reptiles.
Okay.
It
Nice.
is Harley Cream partial pin.
Okay.
I know I got on her to remember them, and now I'm kind of forgetting. Um,
You're cute, Theresa. You gotta jump in with
yeah,
all the info.
like where's the list? So we got all these rather small as like
Mhm.
probable female, and every one that we did get, we got them as probable female, except for 2 of them were for sure, just because the size that we got them
Okay.
at was a sexable size.
Yeah.
And we've noticed that a couple of them are turning male,
Okay.
It happens.
which, in
Yeah.
all honesty, the one that is turning male, I'm not too mad at. But yeah, one of them that I was hoping was a girl looks like it's a boy.
Mm.
Oh, that's
Pretty
too
obvious.
bad. That's like heartbreaking when that happens. You're like, and then you gotta like figure out another plan.
It means I get to buy more geckos.
Yeah,
Ah,
I guess that's not all too bad, right?
Right. There's a silver lining.
Yeah, I like the gecko. I picked up 2 geckos from Robbie's and did an import last season, and I'm super thrilled. I got a charcoal that's actually out of one of his The lineage had monochrome in it, but it's not monochrome,
nice.
it's charcoal. And it's out of his Moto, the big gecko that he has. And then I got a soft scale flame from him, and both of them I'm in love with them. They're just awesome geckos.
Yeah,
And
he
he's
is
great to deal
quality,
with.
and he's
Yeah.
a veteran too, so he did
Yeah.
hook it up.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he threw a freebie in for us we weren't expecting, and that's the one that turned male.
Oh, okay. Well, you're not getting spots from Robbie.
Right. Yeah, definitely
If
not
you
at
want a
all.
lily white with no spots, you go see Robbie. He'll hook you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did get one. You have it in the slides, so when we get
Oh,
there.
okay.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go to the next one or?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, now we got
So
spots.
this
I
one is
like that one.
altitude is of course you can tell with the spots.
Yeah.
This one's a hypo yellow ink spot super Dow. And this
Ooh.
one's got a big old head on her.
Mhm.
This is the one that likes to jump at my face.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah,
this is-
he's got some nice Dalmatians. Like every time he posts a chunky monkey baby, I'm
yeah,
like I want to hop on it, but people hop on it way too quick.
they're gone as he posts them. It seems.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one I really liked. When I saw the pictures he took of it, I liked the ink spot dowels, like just the way they look, the bold blacks and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Very pretty.
this one's head just kind of sold it for me.
Well, and
It's
it has that
got a
cute
big
little
old head.
spot on the nose too. It's so cute.
Yeah.
This is a female?
This one, yeah, for sure female.
Did you get this one recently?
Yes.
I think I was looking at that one when he had posted a bunch.
Oh yeah,
I'm
that
pretty
was a
sure I
Black
was
Friday
looking at it.
deal.
Yeah, I was looking at her.
Okay.
That's when he did the whole Black Friday, and he had a whole bunch of geckos, and he had I can't remember if that was a live one that he did but I remember the spot rings a bell to me on the nose because I
Yeah.
remember seeing the angle the other way where you saw it. I'm like, oh, she's so cute.
I cleaned up on Black Friday, so
Yeah, eh? Well, her face, I like the short faces, right? Like the
yeah.
short nose and the Y structure.
Yeah.
No, she's very pretty. Are you
Gorgeous.
you got plans? So you're going to be working with Harleys and dowels. Like, are you going to get into like specific colored dowels or specifics with the dowels or?
I like the contrast on these with the yellows.
Yeah.
And then the hypo just kind of, keeps it light.
Yeah. So
Um,
it's this, is it like C2, eh? C2 citrus, or is that the hypo that's in it? A lot
you
of
know
his
what?
stuff.
I could not tell you 100%. I've tried to get some information from him, but
Okay.
he was not like at the time, he's cranking out sales. So
Yeah, he's busy.
yeah, he didn't really have time to he gave me some basic information about it, but not necessarily all the lineage and whatnot.
Okay. No, she's super cute. I like that when they have that little stripe, right beside the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
she's really cute.
Thank you. And this
Oh,
one,
look at that.
Look at the back on this thing.
I was just gonna say, yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
this one is which one? Oh, the lavender pinstripe.
Okay.
So I do like pinstripes. I like full pins. I know I have the partial one, but I really like the full pinstripe.
Yeah, but you can work the partial ones in too, right? Depending on what you're breeding it with. Like if you're wanting more of a pin, it still has the genetics. So even if it's like a
Right.
dash, it still carries pinstripe. So if you're putting it to something that has more of a full pin, then you're going to have a higher percentage of hatchlings that are going to come out with more of a pronounced pin.
Yeah, versus putting two partial pins together and hoping for more pinning on it.
Yeah. So is this one's a female or?
This one I believe is the other for sure female.
Okay. So
And
this one's from Robbie's as well?
this one actually, I got this one from Fringe Morphs.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was from Baron and Dandelion pairing.
Okay.
So I like their website because they actually post pictures of the parents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do.
So
And they
you
actually
can-
put some really vibrant pictures and you can see like different angles and
yeah, they do a good
yeah.
job with that, and they're very friendly and helpful, willing to answer your questions too.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that.
I do like the width of the dorsal on this guy. Like it's so massive.
And it's
Yeah,
like
really
almost
nice.
like no, like only that solid color. I really like that.
Yeah, and it's like drippy too on the sides.
Yeah,
Yeah.
coming down off
I'd
of
see
the
this like to a lily. That
yeah.
would be
That's what
really
I think.
pretty.
One of the lilies I have is actually it might be turning boy. So if we do, that's the one we're gonna use.
Yeah, and get some high coverage.
Oh yeah,
It's really pretty.
thank you.
Thank you.
Ooh, solid reds. Those reds.
This one's my favorite. I do have favorites.
Yeah.
So this one's the red patternless porthole, and this one I believe is also turning into a little boy.
Okay.
But I'm not mad at that because I do have the red lily female, so I
Make
wouldn't
some
mind
phantom
putting
lilies.
putting that.
Mhm.
And this one is also from Fringe Morphs.
Okay.
And he's a crackhead.
Yeah, this is the one that went behind the rack.
This is
Oh,
the one that got
no.
out. Well, at least it's vibrant, which makes them easy to find.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
that one sticks out.
As soon as you open the door, he's hopping out.
He's like ready to make his great escape.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he like will jump with no regards to where he lands. It's kind of whatever his feet hit is what he's catching. And if that happens to be the floor like 3 feet down, then so be it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just going wherever his one brain cell wants to take him, I guess.
Right. Yeah, if it's his turn to use it.
There's just there's something wonderful like about like just a phantom red, like with the portholes. They're just it's not like a crazy amount of pattern, right? Because it's just a base,
It's
very
enough.
simple.
Yeah.
But it's still enough. Like they get so vibrant, and when you see them like fire up and down, like the craziness of how
It's a
drastic
huge
the color
difference.
change is. Yeah.
And then this one's kind of cool. It's hard to see. You can't really see in the picture, but it's got like the white outline on its hind legs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fringing here. Yeah.
And then like its eyes are like pretty much silver. So
Yeah,
with that
it's really
bold
nice.
red, it kind of gives a cool contrast on it.
Is this
But
one? Did you it's not a soft scale, is it?
no, it was not listed. It was just listed as a patternless red with portholes.
Okay.
The parents were Samson and Fanta from Fringe.
Okay. No, he's really cute.
Yeah, I really like this one. Like if I had to only keep one, it'd be this guy. Well, maybe.
You say that now, but you
I
still
say
have
that
more
now,
gecko
yeah.
shopping to do. It changes. I always tell myself, my favorite, I always, well, I have to say it's my Halloween, and she's like the most plain thing, but it's just because she's the sweetest and
Yeah.
the easiest to take out. And like if I had a pet, it'd be her. But there's a lot of other ones that I find like as you get more that you're like, oh, you're really pretty. I would just keep you.
Mm.
It's really hard to pick. And like when we do this and we're like, oh, you're top 5 geckos. At first we did our top 3, and I'm like, there's no way it's 3.
Right? Impossible.
Do top 5 because even top 5 is hard to do.
Yeah. I mean, they're all my favorites. You can ask her, like, I always tell, oh, that's my favorite. That's my favorite. Like everything's my favorite.
Favorite for the day.
Yeah.
So who's this guy?
So this one is a lily, possible snowflake, and this one's from Robbie.
Okay.
If you like the little short snout, this one's the one.
Yeah. That's
And then
cute.
the whites, like I tried to capture it as good as I can in the picture, but like she's clean.
She's paper white, eh?
Yeah, and then like with the darks, the base on her, it kind of just makes that pop even more so.
Yeah, no, she's gonna be
Gorgeous.
really nice. Yeah. I'm excited
like-
to see this one when it's an adult.
You can
Yeah,
even see like her little eyelashes, even in the photo, right? Like
Yeah, she's a cute.
beautiful.
And
No,
she's
she's
just like
great.
more and more coverage as she gets older too. So
Well, and I think like you're saying snowflake, I'm thinking it has to be because if you're getting more and you see a lot of it,
You can
right?
see it almost, yeah.
Like it's starting to pop up even more. So I would say definitely, but it's going to be crazy to see when she like with the amount of coverage she has now when she gets older,
Yeah.
how
Mhm.
that's
I'm
going to
just wondering if
spread.
almost all that disappears.
Yeah, she's going to be white.
Yeah.
She's her
'Cause
tiniest,
how big is she now? Like how
12
much does she weigh?
grams.
Okay.
Yeah,
She's our
she's our
tiniest.
smallest one.
Okay.
But she was also very small when we got her.
Well, she's still under 20 grams, right? She's still got a lot of pattern coverage coming her way.
Yeah, and I keep saying
Mhm.
she because I'm kind of willing that into existence. So
Willing it in.
yeah.
So what are your I'm gonna just close this. So do you guys have any like specific goals like with specific projects with the geckos like that you're looking to focus on eventually or
So my goal was to make really nice clean lilies, and then the spots started popping up on the one. Um, but then I started like I showed her. We Googled up some lily dowels, and they're not bad looking.
yeah.
I mean, I do like spots, but I think spots has a place.
Mhm.
For me to I don't really feel lily is the spot for that.
Yeah.
But
Have you guys seen as Game is Geckos has the dowels with the massive portholes that basically cover the whole sides of the geckos?
I have not seen that.
They're
I'll send you
gorgeous.
links.
Yeah.
They are so cool. And it's neat because it's not lily, but it has so much white coverage on these animals with the portholes. It's really, really pretty. Like it's neat to see. And then you have the big spots everywhere. And yeah, I'll send you a picture. You'll have to check it out.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I like the spots. I really like the Mardi Gras stuff, like with the multiple colored spots.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like I think that's pretty cool. She's just kind of learning the gecko stuff. I've kind of threw all the snake stuff at her all at once. So now I've thrown something else into the mix. So it's like always learning going on over here.
Yeah. So
But
Theresa, what's your favorite? You gravitate more towards the geckos or is there something else that you prefer?
I just take care of everybody, but my favorites are the Mexican Black Kings and the
Okay.
bull snakes. The bull snakes
Okay.
are my favorite. They're just friendly. They love to come out. I have a hog nose. She also likes to come out. She will knock
Yeah.
on the door to come out.
Oh.
We
Oh,
have
that's cute.
we have a few snakes that you hear the tapping and you're like, okay, who's the one? Which one wants to come out? It's this one.
Yeah.
yeah.
But we have blue tongue skink, Kotegu, bearded dragons. So I mean,
Okay.
and it's full house. So
Literally.
Yeah. I hear you.
I love them all. But
Yeah.
no, I'm like you said, I'm just getting into the geckos. I'm just learning about them. So I just know they're geckos right now, and I know the lily white. So she's my favorite. I like to hang out with them, but they come out when we're done for the night for the most part. Feed them,
Yeah.
spray them. So one of these nights I'll stay up late and play with them
You
when
can
he's
come and
sleeping.
bug them during the day. They're less jumpy.
Mm.
Yeah, that is true. But my thing is like every time I want to get them out, I'm like, let's take pictures. And then like if you get them out during the day, they're not necessarily fired up. So
Yeah.
like I don't know, it's more impressive when they're those full colors
It's a
are
full
showing.
process, eh? Like when I do the pictures during the day, I'm like, okay, so who do I want to take pictures of? So
Yeah,
I got to set them up in little containers and put them in the dark so they can get fired up. And I got to like time 20 minutes at least, hopefully I can get them fully fired and not misfired and set them in the light box. So yeah, it is a lot easier in the evening when they're less work to get all fired up for sure.
yeah.
Do you guys have any plans to get any other type of geckos or are you just focusing on the Cresties?
So I spend more time on Morph Market than I care to admit. And I love the day geckos, like the neons, and then
Okay.
what's the other one? There's the neon. Oh, the neon and the blues.
Okay. There's a peacock one too, eh? A peacock gecko, I think. I
Not
don't
too
know if
sure.
they're okay. Yeah, they're super bright.
Yeah.
April and I are picking up some morning geckos next month. So
Oh yeah.
they're little tiny.
white.
So we're trying to prep for these morning geckos so they don't escape.
That's the problem is you think you've got it, and then they find that one spot that you overlooked,
Yeah.
and they're small.
They
Yeah.
are.
Well, so in modern gecko's hand, they look pretty big,
Yeah.
like in comparison to his hand. So I'm hoping they're not like itty bitty little things. Like I know the babies will be really tiny, but I just hope like it's not really, really small
Hopefully, he doesn't have really small hands.
or really small. Yeah.
That could be. Yeah, no, he has the Hawaiian ones. Hawaiian type. Was it type C, April? I think is
I
what
think
it was.
so.
They're like
Yeah.
super bright and they have more spots on them. They're
Okay.
pretty neat. And we don't see many Hawaiians around here. There's a lot, just mainly the plain Jane morning geckos. So
Yeah.
we kind of need to have something different.
Yeah.
That-
So they're white. They're really cool. I'm
Yeah,
really
and
excited.
that's the cool thing, especially if you're gonna do like expos and stuff. Is even now here, a lot of expos are kind of limiting on what's the amount of the same species that can be at a show.
Oh,
So
really?
if you just do ball pythons, they're kind of like, oh, we already have 5 or 6 ball python vendors, so we'll put it for the next show. So
Okay.
you really do want to have diversity, but it also has to be something that you enjoy.
Right.
Okay.
But yeah, so we're doing the geckos, added on to that with colubrids. Some states out here, since some of the snakes we breed are native species to some of these states, you cannot sell them at that expo either.
Okay.
So you don't want to be
Okay.
limited just to the one thing.
It makes it a little bit more tricky.
Right. And then you have to know their laws and stuff like that, because fishing game will come to the expos. They will look at the tables, and you don't want to have something you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Right.
Nope. So you guys doing any expos coming up, or?
We're looking into getting started with that. We have not done one yet. We did help a friend vend one.
Okay.
So I kind of got that experience, but the shows in Arizona, we have 2 major ones, and I don't want to be a part of them.
Okay.
It's
They're like
not,
enough said.
yeah. And then we do have one Repticon that comes out here, but like I think they had more empty tables than vendors that bought tables for the show. They just don't do a good job advertising. Then nobody really cares for them out here.
Okay.
Hmm.
So you're gonna have to do a little bit more traveling to get to the show you want to go to.
So we're looking at Colorado and Texas.
Okay.
They're the closest ones, and they have the bigger turnouts.
Okay. Well, yeah, if you're gonna go van, you want it to be worth it, right?
Especially if we're gonna make that drive. Like, I think the Colorado one's like 13.5 hours.
Oof.
Totally.
And I dread driving to Toronto, and that's only like 4 hours for us.
Right.
I sit there like 13 hours. I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah. So if we're gonna go, we want to definitely make sure it's worthwhile.
Yeah, I know. I bet. Well, that's awesome. So where can people find you if they want to go find you online? Your socials.
At our website, www.eastvalleyexotics.com. We're also on Morph Market.
Okay.
Instagram
At East
at
Valley.
East Valley.
Valley.
Exotics,
Okay.
yeah.
Awesome. You guys on Facebook too, or?
We are. So I have it set up to where whatever I post on Instagram, it posts on Facebook as well.
Yeah, it's the easiest thing to do.
I'm telling you, social media is a full-time job.
Mm.
I hear
Yeah.
ya.
Yeah, if I can make it as simple as possible, I'll do that. But yeah, we're on Facebook as well, just at East Valley Exotics.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks guys for jumping on and sharing your
pleasure.
geckos with us. And we're really excited that we'll follow and see how they grow and turn out. And I'm excited to see what you guys are going to produce with them.
Yeah, we
Well,
appreciate you
yeah.
having us.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. Well, have a great Sunday, a great day.
You as well. Take care.
Bye.
Okay, take care. Bye.
Bye.
And we're back.
I couldn't hear anything.
You guys in the chat are out of control.
Seen that. Want some cleavage?
Took it a little while. Apparently, we're dressed up a little too much. You know, they want a little
Well-
bit more femininity, I guess, for the morning show.
I try to sell my brains, not my tits.
I'll have to do a poll on Instagram to see if it'll bring in more viewers.
Sex sells, though, right? So
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I concur. Jesus, you did an awesome job. Theresa, Chris, you guys were awesome.
yes,
It
you
was
guys were
a
great.
really good interview, and we're super happy to have you guys on, and it was awesome. Let's see what else here. No, it was a great interview, and thanks everyone for sticking around and enjoying even the naughty ones in the chat.
Oh,
Glad
man.
to have you. We'll see you next week. Maybe we'll have a tank top on for you.
Don't kill it.
And hope you guys all have a wonderful Sunday morning, and we'll catch you next week.
Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.
Bye.
Shake your dreams from your hair. I'm already there, right beside you.